Hi dear students, the topic of today's session is measuring data storage. Although I have touched this topic in my previous session, but the detailed question we are going to solve it today. So let's start. What first of all we will learn about the measurement unit for data storage, and these units are kibibytes, mebibytes, gigabytes, tbbytes, bbbyte, and exabytes, right? So how are we going to represent these units? In fact, we are representing it in the form of bytes, where 2 power 10 is your kibibytes and vice versa. For the simplification process, I would rather like to write a simplified version of these things. So instead of writing 2 power 10, yes, I can write it like 2 power 10 dot 2 power 10. Yes, and yes, we can say that 1 megabyte is equal to 2 power 10 dot 2 power 10 bytes. And next, what I did, I replaced this thing with kibibytes. So 1 megabyte is equal to 2 power 10 kibibytes. So this technique would be really helpful for you people to convert larger units into smaller units or smaller units into larger units. So one more example or one more conversion we can try out. If I want to know that how many gigabytes are there in 1 gigabyte. So 1 gigabyte, and yes, I know that basically it's 2 power 30. Rather than I could write it like this, 2 power 20 dot 2 power 10. So yes, 2 power 20 is as it is. And if I need to calculate how many gigabytes are there, so simply I am going to replace this thing with gigabyte. And yes, in 1 gigabytes we have 2 power 20 gigabytes. Okay, and if you want to check that how many megabytes are there, so it's very easy again. This is 1 gigabyte and I need to convert it into megabyte. So how I am going to go about it? I'm going to write the same thing 2 power 10, 2 power 20. This thing I'm going to replace it with megabytes. So 1 gigabyte is equal to 2 power 10 megabytes. Further explanation, I am solving a question from your past paper. So here you can see, as we have discussed in our previous lesson, that this is an image resolution value, right? And it is made in the form of pixel, right? And color depth is 16. Yes, we know that color depth is usually being measured in the form of bits. So in fact, this is your 16 bits. Calculate the size of an image taken by this camera. Give your answer in megabyte. So yes, now we are going to refer our previous example or previous description. So first of all, I'm going to write the resolution here. This is 4096 into 2048. And yes, color depth is 16 bits. I need to convert this bit into bytes. So we have discussed earlier, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So it means if I want to convert this into bytes, so simply I'm going to divide it with 8. Hopefully you are having a good mathematical concept, so you would be able to get the point what I'm trying to say. Next thing is megabyte. Yes, we know that megabyte is 2 power 20. Rather than writing 2 power 20, yes, I can simply write it 2 power 10 dot 2 power 10. Why I'm going for this practice? Because you know that in your paper calculators are not allowed. So in order to simplify our calculation, we usually follow such types of tips and techniques. So 2 power 10 is 1024 and yes 1024. So We need to calculate our answer in maybe bytes. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to divide it with the value of maybe byte. Got it? So very simple calculation now it is. Yes, and this is your 4. So 4 twos are 8, 8 twos is 16. So the answer of this question is 16 maybe byte. Very easy. So let's proceed further. Here we had been given an audio CD and samples per second. Yes, we know that. Whenever we are calculating sampling rate, we are going to calculate it in the form of samples per second. So samples per second we do have is 40960. Seems to be quite difficult calculation, but you would be able to know that the way I am teaching you would make it quite easier for you to understand that how to solve such complicated calculation without a calculator. So 16 bits being used per sample, yes. So this is bit depth, 16 bits. And music being sampled uses two channels to allow for stereotype recording. So the same samples we are taking from two channels. Alright. Now we need to calculate the file size for a 1024 second recording. And again we need to give our answer in maybe bytes, right? So 1024. So per second, rather than writing per second, I am going to calculate it for 1024 seconds. I'm going to write this thing here. Okay, G. Now we know that it's our bits and we need to convert it into bytes. So 8, we are going to divide it with 8, and yes, for maybe byte I'm going to write 1024 into 1024. Okay, G. So let's proceed further, and this thing is going to be cancel like this, and this is your 40. Yes, and yes, 8 2 is a 16, 2 2 is a 4, 4 4 is a 16, and our answer is 160 maybe byte. So hopefully this description would be quite good enough for you people to understand the concept of how to calculate the file size and how to convert different measurement units into another measurement units. Yes, here we are talking about data storage and we are going to calculate these values in powers of 2. So again, a recap of these are our storage unit and this is the way that we can convert them. So hopefully you got the idea and keep watching my videos and subscribe my channel. See you in next session inshallah.